They don't want to buy if they don't have 20%. Buying an FHA is a bad thing. Buying 3% is a bad thing.
Sustainability is the big priority for millennials, right?
We are moving in a technology era where we're more driven. We're communicating around the world.
It is definitely a generation who has had an onus or a need to get higher education.
They think because they lived through a crash or their parents went through it, that it's something that's going to happen again in their generation.
Welcome to A&D Market Digest. I'm Marianela, your host, and today we explore strategies for mortgage brokers to navigate the challenging millennial homebuyer market. Joining us are Mike Pearson, Senior Vice President of Business Development, known for innovative approaches, and Marianela Velazquez, an account executive specializing in client relations and millennial herself. Michael, Marianela, welcome to the studio. Happy Friday, first of all. It's a beautiful finish of the week. As usual, that's why I love this show on Fridays. How are you guys doing?
Tremendous. Excited to be here again.
I'm nervous.
Nervous. That's because that's your first time here?
Yeah, it's my first time here.
Please don't be nervous. We are always relaxed here. We're just talking about the daily routine that we always, each day we have to face it. So mortgage industry is a changing world here in US, and we have to adapt. Guys, I have an amazing questions today.
Okay.
Mike, do you know what's the topic?
I have a feeling, given the three different generations sitting here, I have a feeling that I'm going to be singled out to talk about younger generations.
Could you please describe the unique financial and lifestyle preferences that set millennial home buyers, as you mentioned, apart from previous generations?
I will do my best. So in general, millennials are really the first major generation that have never not known technology at all times, right? So it's a generation that is very attuned with online searching, reviewing, checking things out. It's also a generation that's much more in tune with investments, particularly in real estate. That's not something historically that we've seen in other generations. So it's just inherent in their DNA to look at real estate opportunities. So it's definitely a difference and a positive one for that generation.
So you think that it's going the generations basically changing the mortgage industry in the better way?
Yeah, I think historically you had investment firms and large companies that really owned the investment real estate market, where younger generations, particularly with short-term rental opportunities, are getting involved at an earlier stage of life and invest in real estate, which as we know, is a huge driver of wealth in the U.S. So, that's something nice to see.
Right. Marianela, so given the significant impact of the 2008 financial crisis on this generation, how can mortgage brokers foster a sense of financial security for millennials?
So that's a very good question. So the recession happened in different stages for millennials. So depending on the range, you kind of fall into maybe you were 18 at the time of the recession or when it started, or you were younger than that. So I think if you were younger, it doesn't really impact you so much, except you constantly hear people saying things about the market, such as there's going to be another crash. So they think because they lived through a crash or their parents went through it, that it's something that's going to happen again in their generation, or it's just a matter of time before the bubble bursts, but they don't really understand why it happened.
Do you think we're going to face another crash?
I don't think so.
I hope so. I hope not. I really hope not. Michael, how has the burden of student loan changed and the way millennials approach the home buying process, and what creative solutions can brokers offer?
Sure. Like with any debt, obviously that affects your ability to, qualify and pay for a mortgage, certainly. So it is definitely a generation who has had an onus or a need to get higher education, which again is a transition in our society. So with that has come a lot of extended debt, particularly with student loans. So just, having the debt and being able to navigate all those financial waters has, put that extra burden on qualifications for millennials and other generations as well.
All right. You noticed, right, that the world basically changed and a lot of companies switched to the remote, basically. So a lot of workers, they work from home. Do you think is a plus or it's a negative?
I mean, it really depends to the individual, the company, and the industry. So there's some industries that wouldn't benefit from working from home. Others would. You can arguably, for the company, it's good, cost efficient, but they're now doing studies to see kind of where it goes. So for us in the industry, it doesn't really change as much, right? Because we look at the ability to qualify. So your employee doesn't change whether you're getting paid or not. It's not going to change your ability to qualify. I think what it means to us in our industry is that, and it ties back down to the previous question. So we are moving in a technology era where we're more driven, we're communicating around the world, we're working from home. I could have right now a client that works from New York, that works from California. So the whole face-to-face conversation, now it's happening over Zoom. So I think for companies, you need to be able to have really good technology in order to meet those demands. So millennials and generations going after that, they're quick to do everything online. So if you don't have a portal, if you don't have a way to mainstream what we're doing in technology for that generation, they're going to lose interest. So you can lose an applicant if you're somebody stuck doing paper.
Mike, your generation knows how to use Zoom, right?
They invented Zoom.
That is very hurtful. Yes, we have been taught the Zoom.
Good. Just checking. Sustainability is the big priority for millennials, right?
Absolutely.
How can mortgage brokers incorporate this into their home buying advice?
Yeah, lots of ways. And again, this is not a generational thing. I think this is more of a cultural thing. I think we're getting more in tune with sustainability, ways to, not only from a, call it a green perspective, but, we're here in Florida, just from a protection of our properties for natural disasters. So you see a lot of things like storm windows and reinforcing homes and, solar and different technologies. So yeah, I think that is a big interest across the board, maybe more in younger generations where they have more education and more, conversations about those things. Accessing products, energy efficient mortgage programs, working with sellers to give contributions for sustainable upgrades to homes and stuff, I think is important. Looking at weather ratings and things like that, and again keeping in mind that it is very important from the perspective of sustainability and the importance of that. But there's a real benefit just in cost, also utility costs, if you have reinforcement and better insulation, storm windows, things like that can save those home buyers money as well.
Finally, the last one for today, but Marianela, what are some common misconceptions about the home buying that millennials tend to have?
Misconception for millennials. So I think a lot of them are misinformed, even though we are the Google generation and you think you Google everything, but mortgages are complex. So I think there's a misconception in the cost of buying a home. So a lot of them think it's just a down payment. They don't truly understand the closing costs that involves with that. And I think a lot of them also have, I don't know if it's like an old school mentality or somebody's out there, one of these videos that go viral, giving out financial advice. I heard a lot of even younger people than me say that they want to save their 20%. They don't want to buy if they don't have 20%. Yeah. But then when you put that into numbers for a regular individual, blue collar individual, the longer you wait, the more changes can rate. Rates
20% becomes larger and larger and larger.
Yeah, that 20% becomes the larger, and it's kind of like this illusion that buying an FHA is a bad thing. Buying 3% is a bad thing. So I think it's just more education out there needs to be provided from a broker perspective, and that's my opinion in the misconception.
How brokers actually can address those misconceptions?
So you have different ways, right? So number one, there's word of mouth, right? So I have a millennial that comes by with me. If I just push them for a program and not really explain to them why they're getting the financing they're getting, and they don't really understand, they just kind of move on. But then the next person comes along and say, hey, this person really opened up my eyes. I came for a pre-approval thinking that I wasn't going to be able to get something and I was offered a different program. There's different options. That's one thing. And another thing is marketing. So So the more you do educational videos like these, the more you're likely to reach out to someone that might say, all you need is their interest, or for them to actually kind of, I guess, use you as a source of information. And I think if you can be that for someone else, it pays in the long run.
Right.
I think where some of us fail as lenders is we put together good training and education, but we're not speaking to that clientele where they are, right? So maybe we're sending out email campaigns when they're more social media savvy, perhaps, right? Yeah. So definitely the video piece is important, but continuing to maintain, speaking to your audience where they are, right? Not, throwing the information out there, but it's not getting read or digested.
Right. Generation topic is really broad, and I feel like today we were able to make it a little bit more clear for the viewers to understand the difference and the way that each generation actually proceed. Guys, thank you so much. As always, I'm happy having such an amazing guest here. Thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome.
Awesome to be here. Look forward to the next one.
That's right.
Thank you to Mike Pearson and Marianela Velazquez for sharing their insights on millennial homebuyers. That expertise helps brokers and buyers navigate the complexities of the market. Thank you for joining A&D Market Digest. Subscribe for the latest trends. Wishing you success in your home buying journey until our next episode.